Hi, I'm Bill Lockridge, president of Cylinder&Slide Custom Gun Shop. I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about our extractor, our ultimate extractor. Something new we brought out on the market, and the reason I did so was simply because I noticed that all the extractors that we've been trying to use began to lose tension after, I don't know, 500 rounds or so. So I had all the steels checked for the type of steel in a laboratory, and they're all using the same steel, but it's the steel you make truck axles out of. It's not spring steel. So I bought the proper steel, which is called out on the military print, and it's spring steel, and these will hold their tension indefinitely. We also do the military print call out multiple heat treat step, which is more expensive because it requires several different steps other than normal heat treating. So I feel we've got the best extractor on the market. The other thing we're having done is we're having our logo laser engraved on the extractor. So if you're buying one of our extractors and you open the package and it doesn't have our little logo on there, you're not buying my extractor. So we'll get back on the bench and I'll show you a little bit about installing and tensioning an extractor. Okay, here we are on the bench. We have a 1911 45 ACP slide off one of our custom 45s. So the first thing you need to do when you're putting in a new extractor is you need to take your firing pin stop and check and see if it slides cleanly into the slot in the extractor, which this one does. Sometimes the firing pin stop dimensions will vary and it won't slide in because it's a little too thick. You always want to remove metal from the forward part of the slot, not the rear. Because the idea is if you move a little from the forward slot, it'll pull the extractor rearward ever so slightly instead of extending it forward. So we know the firing pin stop fits the extractor. So let's go ahead and slide that in the slide. See how we do. Oop, pretty much dropped in, which usually is an indication of no tension or very little tension. So I'm going to use this punch to align this extractor slot with the firing pin stop slot in the slide, and let's see if we can get that in there. Okay, there we go, got it in there. Now I'm going to grasp this case, empty case between my thumb and middle finger so that I can reach around like that and I can slide it up the breech face behind the extractor. We have absolutely no tension. So we're going to move over to the vise and I'm going to show you how to apply tension to the extractor. We've got the extractor laid out on the open jaws of the vise. You'll notice that I've got the hook and the limiting pad and the whole back of the extractor supported. We're going to want to gently strike this extractor and put a little bit of a U shape or curve in it to add some tension. Notice I'm not holding the hammer. I'm up here where I can control it. So you hold the extractor and take a strike. Now don't hit extremely hard. Bounce. Okay. Now I'm going to take the slide and go back, and I probably didn't strike it quite hard enough because it fell in again, but we've got to test it. I got the extractor back in, the firing pin stop. Let's see if I got no tension yet. Okay, so I didn't quite strike it hard enough. Now I'm going to give it a little bit more of a shot this time, and now I'm going to put it back in the slide. I started to put the extractor back in the slide, and you can see it didn't fall this time. It actually is requiring some tension. So I take the punch and that helps me align it. I know you can't see me doing that, but I've got this punch in here so I can get it aligned this way. It's as you get tension, it's much harder to do. So yeah, I got lucky. Went right in there. Alright, let's try this again. We're going to slide our extractor empty up there, and guess what? Dead on. Now sometimes you're going to over tension it, and you'll have to very gently tap it the other way with the extractor facing down to take a little out. So, you know, don't try not to go back and forth too many times, but it's just a matter of something you're going to have to learn by doing it. Now, okay, how much pressure do we put down on our thumb to push this straight down behind the extractor? As near as I can measure on a scale, I put about 1 pound of pressure on it. So if you take your thumb and put it on a scale and press down 1 pound, that'll give you an idea. If the extractor tension is too light, you may have failures to extract, but if it's too heavy, you're going to have failures to feed up because the recoil spring doesn't have enough energy to push the new live round up behind the extractor during the feeding cycle. So if it stops down here during the feed, doesn't feed up, you might have a little too much pressure. So you got to learn to balance it. It's a very hard thing to do, but it's just trying to give you some idea of how to tension these extractors. Now we found that about 75% of the time our extractors go in a slide with tension. But due to slide variations and tolerances, that extractor hole moves around a little bit, and it can, you know, raise or lower the tension depending upon where the extractor is placed in relationship to the actual center line of the breech face. I thank you very much for watching our video, and I hope this helps you out.